performing of our national anthem. At this time, please welcome Marshall Brown from Lincoln Memorial and Dimitri Dakov from Carson-Newman for the reading of the Game Environment Pledge.
Today's game between Carson-Newman Eagles and Lincoln Memorial Rescuers. We call forth the protection of our earth and environment, so we can live dignity and a safe living.
Thank you and congratulations to both of you. And good luck.
SAC fans, I'm Patrick Fritz, Commissioner of the South Atlantic Conference, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to the 2022 SAC Basketball Championship. All of us associated with the SAC look forward to providing a wonderful championship atmosphere and a quality experience to the student athletes, coaches, and fans. We would like to thank Timmons Arena and Furman University for hosting the championship for the 9th year. As you just heard from the student athletes, sportsmanship is extremely important in the South Atlantic Conference. It is not only a core principle of the SAC, but it is a pillar of the NCAA Division II as well. Sportsmanship unites all of us in a common goal, winning and losing with respect and dignity. With that being said, we ask that you reflect on what these student athletes just stated and respect our game. That means being loud and energetic when cheering for your team and not against your opponents, while also showing respect to the officials and each other as fans. Thank you again for joining us for the 2022 SAC Men's and Women's Basketball Championship, and enjoy the game.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2022 SAC Basketball Championship. And now to introduce the student athletes and coaches from today's semifinal game between the number 5 seed Carson-Newman Eagles and the number 1 seed Lincoln Memorial Rail Splitters. First for the Carson-Newman Eagles reserve.
Welcome back to Furman University as we get ready for tip-off in the South Atlantic Conference semifinals. It is a classic matchup, Carson-Newman and Lincoln Memorial. As we take a look at the Carson-Newman starting 5 for this one. Defensive Player of the Year, Bryant Thomas leads the way. Luke Brennigan, E.J. Bush, Trip Davis, the newly minted 1,000-point scorer, and Ren Dyer round out the starting 5 for Coach Chuck Benson's crew. On the other side for the Lincoln Memorial Rail Splitters, a very talented and potent group. Right in the dead center, you have the first-team all-conference pick, Chase Rankin, 2 triple-doubles on the season surrounding him. Honorable mention all-conference pick, and Alex Dolling. Jordan Guested, it was a second-team all-league pick. Mikal Burries was a second-team All-League pick, and Jordan Walters rounds out the starting five, the rookie out of West Lafayette, Indiana. Take a look at the Star Watch for today's contest between these two clubs. And Carson-Newman has one of the best defensive players in the league, and he was the defensive player of the year this season. It is Bryant Thomas. Thomas this year, 10th in the country in terms of shot blocks. He led the conference in terms of overall rebounds this season, 8 per game on the season. Conversely, for Lincoln Memorial, Chase Rankin, he is everything that LMU tries to take care of. 13 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, the team leader in steals as well. He's 9th in the country in terms of helpers. He gets Lincoln Memorial into their sets and makes sure that the Splitters get their job taken care of here today. Great game on tap between these two clubs. Carson-Newman, the reigning conference tournament titleists, trying to become the first team in nearly a decade to repeat as the conference champs, while Lincoln Memorial has won 5 of the last 11 conference championships, most recently 2 years ago, back in 2020. Splitters have been great. They've won their last 7 SAC semifinal matchups, all by double figures. Their last loss came back in 2012. That was a year after they had won a conference championship, and that was the last time in which they lost in the semifinals. Carson-Newman last year, when we didn't play here, you were traveling. Carson-Newman had to win at Queens to take home the crown for the Eagles, as they have won 4 conference tournament championships. So let's see what happens here today. On the women's side, Anderson and Carson-Newman have won. That is the 4 and number 2 seeds. You have 2 teams that won on the road on the men's side. 5th-seeded Carson-Newman and 6th-seeded Newberry. And then you have the regular season co-champions, Lincoln Memorial and Queens. And to start us off, it is the Eagles of Carson-Newman and the Splitters of Lincoln Memorial. And we're ready to go. LMU in the white uniforms, Carson-Newman in the navy uniforms. And here we go from Furman's Timmons Arena. Thomas wins the opening tap, and it's Carson-Newman basketball to start us off. Up-tempo basketball game. These two teams met 10 days ago, and Carson-Newman lost by 8, but it was a nip-and-tuck contest, and LMU got the late surge and late betterment of the Eagles. E.J. Bush needs 11 points for 1,000 in his career. Feeds Thomas, who puts a shot up over Guest, misses it, and it's deflected out of play by Chase Rankin as he stepped in front of Dowling for the rebound opportunity. Well, a great day for basketball. We've had very competitive affairs early. Anderson holding off a late Wingate charge, and Carson-Newman a late surge in the 4th to pull away from the Indians. Flanagan right wing. The senior works around a screen, stops and dumps it underneath for Bush. Bush working against Walters. Misses a shot short. Carson-Newman misses its first 2 shots of the game, and here comes Lincoln Memorial. Dowling skipping through the lane. Out, Guest, top of the key 3. That rattles out. Thomas skies for the glass. Carson-Newman back of the ball, looking for our first points of the day. Davis, left wing. The left corner, Dyer wants a trifecta. Too strong that time around. Guest skies for the glass. Team's leading scorer this season at 17 tonight. And a traveling violation whistled on Walters in the front court for LMU. So Carson-Newman has missed some shots, while Lincoln Memorial at the other end has turned it over after they missed a Guest 3-pointer. Still looking for her first point, 70 seconds in. Brennigan around a Thomas screen. Right point, works back to his left. Swinging it around the perimeter. It is Dyer. Works to his right-hand side. Hesitates. Shuffles it off to Thomas. Thomas back to the bucket. Sweeps through the lane. Right-hand layup. Missed it short. Guessed the glass. 90 seconds in. Still no score. Carson-Newman has missed all 4 of its shots so far. A missed shot and a turnover so far for Lincoln Memorial. Walters at the high post, throws it for Guest. Guest dribbles right, backpedals beyond the arc, loses the ball, deflects it over to Rankin. Rankin gets to the lane, kicks back out Guest. Guest dribbles right-hand side, swings it back out top. Rankin has it deflect out of his hands by Davis with 1 on the shot clock. So far, LMU, one of the best scoring teams in the entire country, hasn't really been able to get going offensively here. And an inbound with 1 on the shot clock. It is kicked. It stays with LMU. And that resets the shot clock back to 20. Talk about an early gut punch for Carson-Newman. Why even do that, if you're being honest, with 1 on the shot clock, and they're inbounding it away from their bucket. So now LMU gets to recycle the shot clock back to 20. 2 minutes into the game, still no score. Dowling feeds Guest. Guest works in the lane, gets doubled, kicks it out, Rankin a high arcing trifecta, misses it short. Rebounded at Ren Dyer, and here comes Carson-Newman into the front court, still looking for the game's first points. It was 17:48 to play here in the first half. Davis, a left wing 3, left it short. Rebound loose in the corner, and it goes out of bounds off of the hand of Bryant Thomas, and it goes back to Lincoln Memorial. Both teams not great offensively right here at the outset. Lincoln Memorial enters as one of the top scoring teams in the country. They've made the second most three-pointers in the nation. Around a screen goes Burries, down the left side of the lane, puts the shot off the glass with the left hand, averages 13 a game this season out of Newport, Kentucky, just south of the Ohio River. And LMU with the first points of the day. Dyer for Carson-Newman in the front court. Bush dribbling to the block, right hand, teardrop, up and through. Bucket for E.J. Bush. He's 9 points away from 1,000 for his career. And it's a 2-2 ball game here in the opening half. Guest at the free throw line for LMU. Kicks it right back Rankin. First team all-conference pick. Gives it back out top. Guest. Walters gets a sprinting start to the lane. Swings it right corner. Dowling connects from long range. 36% on the year. Alex Dowling, one of the top three-point artists in the league, drops one in from distance. 5-2 LMU on top early as the teams, after a slow start, have started to find some offensive rhythm. Bush on the right wing, dribbles in, back to the bucket, gets swiped out of his hands by Guest. Eagles recover with 10 on the shot clock. Brennigan dribbles left around the defender, stops on the baseline, swings it to Thomas. Thomas with 3 on the shot clock has to force one up, Guest a rejection. Rankin sprints front court now for the Splitters. Dowling has it swiped out of his hands, but he recovers on the sideline. Right-hand side, Rankin works around a defender. Picks up the basketball, lobs it underneath for Guest on the right block. Guest will dribble, spin back to his right. High arcing hook shot, left it short. Dyer able to rescue the basketball before it goes out of bounds. Carson-Newman back with the ball. Down by 3, 15:45 to go in the first. Davis in a lane, draws the foul, first whistle of the game. It goes on Dowling, and it brings us to a pause in play. Teams trying to find their footing early here in the SAC semis. It is Carson-Newman trailing Lincoln Memorial 5-2 here on the SAC Digital Network.
You've got to see this place.
You gotta see this place.
You've got to see this place.
You gotta 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 see this place.
You've gotta see this place.
You got to see this place.
You gotta see this place.
You gotta see this place.
Back here inside of Timmons Arena after a sluggish start. LMU starting to find some footing. Made 2 of their first 5 shots. Carson-Newman, conversely, has missed 5 of its first 6 shots from the floor. But Trip Davis is going to the free throw line. Davis just became a 1,000-point scorer for Coach Chuck Benson as he became the 8th member of the 1,000-point club. Trip Davis, the Tennessee State transfer, will take a pair of free throws here as Carson-Newman tries to find some offense here at the SAC semifinals. First free throw is up and through from Trip Davis. A 5 seed hasn't played for a title since 2019, but 5 seeds haven't been all that exceptional. The last 5 seed to win a title, 1994, Carson-Newman did it. Missed second free throw, tap to Walters, and a foul is whistled on Carson-Newman. It goes on Davis, so he adds insult to injury with a second missed foul shot. And with Carson-Newman down by a deuce, back on defense where Lincoln Memorial has started to find some offensive scoring rhythm. To the front court come the splitters right to left. Walters on the left wing. Bounces it to the top of the key and Guest. Back to Dahling left wing. Lincoln Memorial, a 9th regular season title in the last 11 years. Dahling a left wing trigger. Too strong that time around. Dyer the board for Carson-Newman. Sprinting front court. Davis feeds, butts on the left block. One power dribble and now backs it out. Gives it Davis, left wing, a three-pointer. Too strong. Walters the rebound. 15:09 to play in the first half. Carson-Newman has started 1 of 7 from the field. Walters gives it over to Burries. Underneath, he gives it to Walters. Back to Dahling, sprinting through the lane. Little left hand up and under. He left it a little too strong that time around. Dahling's missed a couple shots that he normally makes, and Carson-Newman a chance to tie or take the lead on this trip. Right baseline, it's in the hands of Bowens. Back to the bucket, works around Walters. High arcing, fading shot, rattles out. Rebound plucked out of there by LMU, and the Splitters with a rock. Ahead by 2, trying to get a little bit of separation here early for the conference co-champs. Left-hand trigger from 3 is wide left. LMU's missed 3 of its first 4 from deep. Davis sprints into the front court. Dyer left wide open for 3, and he sinks it from long range. Just 31%, and he gives Carson-Newman its first lead of the day at 6-5 with 14:10 to go in the half. Carson-Newman on top by 1. These two teams have played some classics over the years. Sells wants a 3. All freshman team pick, leaves it short. LMU lives and dies by the 3, and they're not making him early, but down 1. 6 minutes into the game. Davis left to right crossover. On the baseline, back to the bucket. Backing down, Sells. Spins, left-hand shot, a foul whistled here on Lincoln Memorial, and that sends Carson-Newman back to the free throw line as Matthew Sales, the freshman out of Livingston Academy in the Volunteer State, commits the personal. A little too physical. Got the right hand down on the left-hand trigger of Davis. So now Trip Davis will be at the free throw line to shoot another 2 foul shots. He's made 1 of 2. And he drops in the first, and Carson-Newman's back ahead by 2 points. 7-5, 13:46 to go in the first half. Davis to get 1 more free throw here. The team's leading scorer at 14 points tonight. Davis puts the shot up and puts it in. Good scoring early from Carson-Newman's leading scorer. They've scored the last 5 of the game and lead by 3. Right wing, Burries with a basketball. Gives it to Sells, who throws it to the top of the key in Rankin. Rankin, left to right crossover, works to the right corner, throws it underneath. It takes a deflection, and it's intercepted by Bowens. Carson-Newman leading by 3. Davis, full throttle to the front court and a left-hand layup off the window and home. Timeout called by Lincoln Memorial. How about this start for Carson-Newman? A 7-0 surge for the Eagles to take a 10-5 lead, and Trip Davis doing the majority of that work as he's been able to throw on the accelerators, particularly on this play. Look at him from the length of the floor. Dahling steps up, but Davis gets to the strong hand, butts with a good lead block, and a left-hand layup from Trip Davis. And Carson-Newman has opened up a 5-point margin. After missing 6 of its first 7, they made their last 3. 10-5, Carson-Newman on top. Carson-Newman titles in 2015 and 2021. And Chuck Benson's teams have played their best basketball in March. And with Lincoln Memorial back with a rock, coming right to left into the front court, Rankin will try to set up this offense. Brown, backdoor bounce pass looking for Sells. It bounces around. Sells saves it in to Burries in the left corner. Step back, left-hand trigger is pure. 47% from long range this year for the rookies. out of Newport, Kentucky. And that ends a 7-0 Carson-Newman run. Dyer into the lane, misses a right-hand runner. Rankin the board, he looks to accelerate. Throws it to the left corner, deflected, right back to him. Sells will reset the offense. A 10-8 Carson-Newman lead. Sells around a screen, accelerates to the left side of the paint, and a right-hand running layup as he worked around two Carson-Newman defenders to get there. Splitters have made 4 of 11 at the start. Carson-Newman has made a couple shots here of late, and in a 10-10 game, a 5-0 surge by the Splitters. Brennigan around a screen to Dyer. He dribbles once and hands it off Davis. Davis leans left, sprints to that power left hand, gets shut down along the baseline. Bounces it to Bowens underneath the bucket. Good move there, and his verticality able to get him over the top of the defender as he deposits it through the cylinder. 12-10. Carson-Newman's lead back on top by 2. Rankin hesitating, throwing it into the chest of Butts. He was the last one to touch it, and with 11:53 to go in the first half, Carson-Newman's lead is 2. Back and forth we go early. 2 ties and 1 lead change. 12-10. Eagles on top in the semifinals over top-seeded Lincoln Memorial here on the SAC Digital Network.
Hometown ticketing makes it fast and easy to buy tickets on your school's website or in the new Hometown Fan app. It's simple. Just search for your school, buy your tickets, and they'll be right there in your account, ready to be scanned when you get to your event. Download the Hometown Fan app today.
As soon as you win the state championship, you start getting calls and emails and brochures sent to you from all these ring companies. We'd already talked for a long time that the first one we got here at BA, it was going to be the biggest thing we could find. Right? It was going to be the biggest ring we could get. You know, we wanted to make this a celebration for the community, right? For our administration, for our school, right? And then to honor the kids. It's a big deal anytime you win a state championship in any sport.
Well, neither team really shooting the lights out early. Both under 36% at this point in the game. Carson-Newman's been able to get to the free throw line, sinking 3 of 4 there, and Trip Davis is off to a good start with 5 points, while Burry's on the other side has 5 for LMU. And the Splitters have the rock on the baseline, nearly midway through this opening half of play. Inbound comes out well near midcourt for Sells. He dribbles left around a screen, lobs it underneath for a cutting Brown, and a foul is going to be whistled here on Carson-Newman. It goes on Brennigan.
Is called against Carson-Newman's Luke Brennigan. That's his first. 15 seconds.
So Guest will be the one to inbound the basketball on the baseline. Guest surveys, looks to his right, throws it through the hands of Brown, who saves it inbound. Sells, jabbing right, dribbling left, crossing over, feeding Rankin in the left corner. Rankin gets a running start, high arcing teardrop, tantalizingly close, but just hits the back iron. Red Dyer for Carson-Newman back with the ball. Dyer dribbling left, stopping there, dribbling back beyond the three-point arc as he gives it to Brennigan in the right wing. Brennigan dribbling right, works around a defender, stops in the middle of the paint, hands it off to Bush. Bush puts a shot over Guest and is able to put it in. So E.J. Bush, another bucket on the block. He's got 4, and Carson-Newman has its second largest lead of the day. Inside of the lane goes Rankin, dumps it underneath looking for Brown, and Brennigan is the last one to touch it as he was there on help side defense. Good defense by Brennigan, but here's another look at that E.J. Bush bucket. Good little fall away shot as he was able to get it up and over the defender. So with Carson-Newman ahead by 4, Lincoln Memorial has started just 4 of 12 from the field. Carson-Newman, meanwhile, has made 4 of 5. Buries to the bucket in the left hand. He's able to stick it in off the glass with the left paw. He's having a great start to this one. 7. He's looking for some help, though. Bush has it for Carson-Newman. He had the last bucket for the Eagles. On the right baseline, around a defender. Sprints to the lane, pulls up for a jump shot. It is too strong, and Dowling there for the rebound. Carson-Newman's lead is 2. Guest looking to change that with a three-pointer. That is way too strong. Rebound to Dyer. Dyer into the front court. Tosses underneath. Thomas puts up a tough right-hand shot, and a foul is called on Lincoln Memorial as they call the personal on Guest.
The personal foul called against Lincoln Memorial's Jordan Guest. His first.
Just his first personal foul.
Team third.
Team's third. And Brian Thomas to the line, a 73% foul shooter. Has been very solid at the line here today as he puts the first free throw up and drops it home. Thomas, the junior out of Charlotte, North Carolina, UNC Charlotte transfer. Carson-Newman's lead back to 3. Now Lincoln Memorial just 2 of 8 from long distance this season, and a team that is 4th in the country in field goal percentage. Has started 5 of 14. Thomas misses the second. 3-point game nearly midway through the opening 20 minutes of play. Guest has the ball at the top of the key. Hands it off to Sells. He dribbles once and hands it right back to Guest. Guest down the right side of the paint. Has his shot swatted by Carson-Newman, but they call a personal foul as Guest was dribbling into the paint. Who does this one go on? It's on Thomas. That was a pretty good-looking block as he came over on help side defense, and we get another look at it. That's a pretty good block by Thomas, at least in my eyes, as they call the foul on Bryant, the defensive player of the year in the league. And Guest to the free throw line, looking to put a dent into a 3-point deficit. Missed the first foul shot, too strong, 76% foul shooter on the year. And one more coming up here for Jordan Guest, that's the first foul shot in the game for Lincoln Memorial so far. 3-point game, 9:55 to go in the first half. Guest's second foul shot is in, and it makes it a 2-point ball game with 9:55 to go before the break. Carson-Newman and Lincoln Memorial likewise at 5 of 14 shooting. John Jow, the 3-point marksman, slaloms into the lane and scoops in a right-hand layup. Just 4 points per game this year, but here in the conference tournament, he gets his first points, and it's to a 4-point game. Buries around a defender. Hesitating. He's been feeling it early, and he continues. 9 for Mikel Buries, the redshirt freshman and second-team all-conference pick. He is 9 of the team's 15. Looking for some support. 2-point ball game. Carson-Newman with the lead in the rock. Bush, top of the key. Works down the left side of the paint. Gets shut down. Kicks out. Brannigan ripples the rope from long range. And that makes it a 5-point game. Carson-Newman matches its largest of the day. 20-15 with 9 minutes to play in the first half. Dowling feeds Guest. Thomas with those 2 fouls backs off as Guest gets right into the chest of the shot blocker and drops it in. Jordan Guest with 3. Back to a 3-point game, 20-17 with 8:48 to go in the first half. Brannigan with it for Carson-Newman. Feeds Bush. This is where he does a lot of his work, right in the mid-post range. Works against Walters, dumps it for Thomas. Thomas gets into the lane, puts a right-hand shot up and in over the top of Jordan Guest to make it a 5-point game at 22-17 with 8:26 to go in the first half. The Lincoln Memorial averages nearly 12 3-pointers per game. They've only hit on 2 so far. Dowling accelerating to the right block, works around a defender, gets into the front of the rim, misses a shot, rebound tapped over. Here come the Eagles with a chance to get their largest lead of the day on this trip. Brannigan lobs it to the right corner for his brother, Nick Brannigan. Into the lane, kicking it out. Bush thought about a 3. Crossing over, an illegal screen is set here on Nick Brannigan. 4th team foul on the Eagles, and it brings us to a pause in play. 7:57 to go before the break. Can Lincoln Memorial find its offense? Carson-Newman has made 7 of its last 9, and the Eagles lead it by 5 here on the SAC Digital Network.
I pledge.
I am an NCAA student athlete.
And I pledge to be a champion of unity
on my team, on my campus, and in my community.
I pledge to embrace differences and strive for inclusion and collaboration.
I pledge to stand against racism, hate, and discrimination.
I pledge to strive for love, care, and forgiveness.
I pledge to stand against silence, deceit, and obscurity.
I pledge to strive for dialogue, truth, and understanding.
I pledge to stand against fear and doubt. I pledge to strive for trust and belief in one another.
I pledge to stand against complacency and stagnancy.
I pledge to strive for change and growth.
I commit to supporting my fellow student athletes in all circumstances that impact them.
I commit to both choosing unity personally and encouraging it for all.
I pledge these things because we are stronger together.
United as one.
Fans in attendance here. This is our third of a quadruple header here today. The women's semifinals concluding earlier. That championship is set, and this is the first of two here in the men's semifinals. Newberry and Queens will wrap up our quadruple header, and we'll have the championship games tomorrow at 1 and 4:30. Carson-Newman has its largest lead of the day right now at 5 against the top-seeded Splitters of Lincoln Memorial. Dowling working around defenders to the right side of the lane, dumps it off for Walters, who stuffs it in. First dunk of the day for Walters, who had a bunch of them in Harrogate when these teams met. 3-point game again. Carson-Newman clinging to this lead, trying to build out a bulge. Dumping it underneath was Dyer, and it eludes his teammate Butts, and it's intercepted Rankin. To the front court comes LMU. Guest gives it over to the left wing and Rankin. Rankin works around a defender and dumps it to Guest. Guest, mismatch here against this matchup zone, gets into the lane. Tough fall-away shot, swirling it in off the glass. 4 straight for the Splitters, and it's a 1-point game. Jordan Guest starting to take charge underneath. LMU has now made 4 of 5 after both of these clubs struggled early. Davis around a screen for Carson-Newman. He was hot early, hasn't scored since an early 5-point burst in the first 5 minutes. Bowen's on the right block, throws one over the top of the backboard, and Carson-Newman turns it over for a second straight trip without getting a shot after they had made 3 straight. Take another look at that stuff by Walters. Good look underneath by Dowling to find Walters for the bucket. 6:51 to go in the first half. Carson-Newman's lead is 1, and LMU trying to get back on top of the scoreboard. We've already had a lead change and 2 ties. Sells left wing. Dribbles, lobs to the baseline. Guest, cross-court feed to Rankin. Now top Dowling over to Guest, now left wing. Sprints to the left baseline. Back to the bucket against Butts. Gets into the body. Shot block. Bodies just ricocheting off of each other, and it's deflected out of bounds off of Butts. 7 on the shot clock. LMU makes sure that they know that is the case. 6:28 to go in the half. Inbound coming here from Rankin, feeding the middle of the floor. Deflected, intercepted by Davis, throws it out. Shot clock will reset. 3-pointer went up anyway, and Bowen snatches down the missed 3-pointer. LMU 2 of 9 from deep to start the game. Davis, pedal to the metal into the front court. Now Dyer down the left side of the lane, draws a foul as Sells was riding Dyer the entire way. It's the 4th team foul, but the 2nd on the all-freshman team selection, who averages 11 per game. And Burries has to come into the ball game. Take a look at Dyer running down the lane, and maybe a little bit of a reach in there at the last moment as well. 6:11 to go before halftime. Which team is able to gain some separation? If either of the two are, we've been nip and tuck. Carson-Newman's led by as many as 5, trailed by as many as 3. Brennigan into the lane. Nick Brennigan gets a friendly roll. And the freshman from right here in Greenville, South Carolina, Wade Hampton High School, gets the lead back to 3 and ends a 90-second scoring drought for Carson-Newman. Walters at the high post, dribbles right into Butts' body, and then Davis rips it out of his hands. Davis sprints into the front court, all the way to the left baseline. Now he walks it out beyond the arc. Butts coming over to set a screen. Davis gets to the free throw line and draws the foul on the jump shot, and that's been Davis's repertoire early. 2nd personal foul on Dowling. So his 2nd, team's 5th, and Davis, who has drawn 3 fouls of the team's 5, is going to the line. Dowling got the left hand, and I think Davis flung the left leg out there as well. So free throws coming up here for Trip Davis. First foul shot is up there, and that one goes through. 4-point game. Trip Davis with 6. Walters is out. Martez Brown is back in, the junior from Bessemer, Alabama. Second free throw from Trip Davis goes in. 87% foul shooter, has made 5 of 6 early. And it's back to a 5-point game. 26-21 with 5.5 to go in the first half. Rankin, who has not scored so far in this game, lobs it to Guest in the middle of the lane. Spinning around. Thomas got away with a reach there. Could have been a second foul. Instead, Guest sticks it in. 7 now for Guest. And a 3-point game with 5:10 to play in the first half. Nick Brennigan around a screen twice. Gets to the baseline. Works around the baseline. Throws it out. Intercepted by Dowling. Numbers forward. Rankin getting the feed from Dowling. And a right-hand layup on the left side of the lane. Makes it a 1-point game. 4 straight now for Lincoln Memorial. 26-25. 4:50 to play in the half. Well, every time Lincoln Memorial has got close, Carson-Newman has had the answer. Davis in the left corner. Works around a screen. Gets to the paint. Stops. Puts one up. Misses it short. Dyer with the offensive rebound. Out Davis, a trifecta. Air ball. And then hitting the deck underneath the bucket was Thomas. No foul whistled here as Burries barreled into Thomas. No foul, and it goes out of bounds. And now LMU with a chance to regain the lead. LMU has not led since it was 5-3 with 15:43 to go. That is the last lead for LMU. Carson-Newman responded after that sequence by scoring 7 unanswered, and they haven't looked back since. LMU with a chance to regain its first lead in nearly 11 minutes. Dowling to the front court, hands it off to Guest left wing. He's been the money man offensively of late. He reposts, dribbles left, runs into the swarm of defenders, gives it back out. Burry's been hot. That swirls out. And it comes to Thomas. Carson-Newman trying to extend its 1-point margin. Bowens works along the baseline. Davis. Brennigan to the lane. Right back out to Davis and dumping it underneath for Thomas. Bumps into Guest. They're looking for a travel. Instead, Thomas forces it over the top of Guest. And Bryant Thomas with 5 now, and it's back to a 3-point game. Under 4 minutes to play before halftime. Carson-Newman has had the prize fight punches early in this ball game. Rankin still looking for his first points. Averages 13 a game this year. Dowling around a defender. Stops left side of the lane. Gives it back out. Jordan Guest. He wants a 3. Doesn't drop it in, but a 3-point shooting foul has been whistled on Bowens. And that will send Guest to the line with a chance to tie the game when we come back. 3.5 to go before the break. Do either of these teams gain separation? Or do we stay nip and tuck? Find out next here on the SAC Digital Network in the semifinals. Carson-Newman on top by 3.
At Anderson University, we are on a journey, one that seeks to find the purpose for which God created each and every one of us. So we search, we grow, we dive in, and with a close-knit community, small class sizes, accomplished and supported faculty, and a spirit that believes that together we can accomplish big things. The person we are striving to become doesn't feel so far away. So we push, we dream, we dig deeper, until our journey finds us as teachers, artists, writers, athletes, engineers, nurses, and friends. And while we're at it, we just might change the world. Anderson University, knowledge for your journey.
Well, after a sluggish start for these two teams offensively, these two teams are firing away now, shooting nearly 50% in this basketball game. Carson-Newman has led since an early 7-0 scoring burst, but Jordan Guest is at the free throw line shooting 3 foul shots, and Guest is 76% free throw shooter, starting to carry the load for LMU, but he misses the first foul shot as that one rattles out. So one more coming up here for Jordan Guest. And the right-hander triggers it up there, and he puts that one in. He'll get another crack at it here to try to make it a one-point game again. LMU has been within one, it feels like, for the last 4 or 5 minutes of game action, but Carson-Newman every time has been able to answer and ring the bell right back. 3.5 to go in the first half. Carson-Newman back with the basketball. Bush dribbling right and handing it off to Trip Davis. Davis dribbles around a E.J. Bush screen. Floats it up and drops it in. Carson-Newman back ahead by 3 as they continue to find these little pockets and windows to be able to take leads. Rankin sprints into the lane and draws a foul underneath the bucket on Carson-Newman. So good take on the dribble drive. Goes on E.J. Bush. It's his first. Team 6th personal foul. And a free throw coming up here for Rankin, who's an 87% foul shooter on the year. And he whirlpools the first one home. One more coming up for a man that plays 34 minutes a night. 13 points, 6 boards, 6 assists a game. He drops in the second, and that makes it a one-point game again. Can LMU get a stop this time around down the floor? Brannigan into the front court for Carson-Newman. Working to his left, handing it off Ren Dyer. Dyer sprints to his left, down the lane, gets into a swarm of defenders, has it rejected. Bush picks it up, kicks it out to Davis. Still plenty of time on the shot clock. Bush sprinting to his left, runs into a defender, has to double clutch as it nearly was swiped out of his hands. He misses the shot. Sprinting front court. Brown, great catch in traffic, and he puts it in, and LMU has its first lead since it was 5-3 with 15:43 to go in this quarter. Or half, rather. And then a steal by Rankin, and let's see if they're going to call a clear path foul here. It's on Luke Brannigan. It's his second, team 7th, so a 1-and-1 coming up for Chase Rankin, with LMU with a chance to try to push this lead out. So let's see what Rankin can do here at the free throw line. 87% foul shooter. This might be able to get him going as he drops in the first foul shot. He'll get another crack at it as well. Well, Rankin hadn't scored until these last couple foul shots, and perhaps this is what can get him firing. Second free throw is straight through. Right down the hatch again from Rankin. He's got the last 4. Lincoln Memorial has taken its largest lead of the day now at 3. The top seed in the semifinals, looking to get back to a tournament championship game. They've won 7 in a row in the semis. Davis works around a Bush screen, dumps it right to Bush. Back out Davis. Gathers himself and connects on a long-range trifecta. Trip Davis from long range connecting on the three-pointer, and that puts Carson-Newman back on level ground here with LMU at 33 apiece. Guest looking for an answer. That's wide left. Brown, though, underneath, misses the putback attempt after the offensive glass. Carson-Newman a chance to regain the lead. There's a short-lived advantage for LMU. Davis dribbles it off of his back foot, still loose, pinging around, picked up by Burries, and now Rankin collects. Into the front court comes LMU. Dowling to the right block, misses the initial attempt, gets his own miss, feeds Guest, foul is whistled, and Guest back to the free throw line. Well, LMU's a great three-point shooting team, but they're showing their willingness to try to body things up on the blocks. And Ren Dyer called for the foul after you see Dowling get into the body of the shot blocker. And then, after the offensive rebound, a foul on Dyer as Guest makes the first foul shot. And he gets another shot at it here as Lincoln Memorial has taken a 1-point lead. Second foul shot from Guest is too strong this time around. And it's Carson-Newman basketball with a chance to regain the lead. 34-33, top-seeded Lincoln Memorial on top. Davis on the right wing. Heaves it back out top for Thomas. Over to the left wing and Dyer. Dyer to the baseline, throws it cross court. Brennigan wants a right corner three. That's an air ball. Loose basketball, and it's deflected out of bounds by LMU. So it'll be Carson-Newman holding on to possession here with under a minute to play here in the South Atlantic Conference semifinal matchup. And whistles, not 100% sure. I don't know if there's maybe blood. And I think indeed there is, right on the right forearm of Burries. And he will have to check out of the game to get that tended to on the sideline. These two teams have a long, storied history. This is the 215th time these teams have met. Lincoln Memorial's won the last 5. Carson-Newman back on the ball. Under a minute to go. Bush on the right block, running in to Guest, and what a tough shot make that was by E.J. Bush. 3/4 of a minute to go. Carson-Newman back ahead, 35-34. Which team can enter the locker room? On top, Rankin, right wing. Steps back, three-pointer, high arcing, too strong. Bush the rebound. Back and forth we go. Half minute to play in the first half. 3 ties, 3 lead changes, and Chuck Benson burns a timeout. So a 30-second timeout. So free throws for Carson-Newman have been important. They've made 6 of 8. Likewise for Lincoln Memorial, they've made 8 of 11. Kind of been some ebbs and flows to this ball game. There have been times where both teams have been red hot. There have been times where both teams have been ice cold. Carson-Newman started the game 1 of 8, then connected on 7 of their next 9, and then went through a sequence where they made just 1 of their next 6. LMU has missed 4 consecutive shots from the field, but they've been able to make foul shots. And in a 1-point game with 28.5 seconds to go, there's a 3.5-second differential shot to game clock. 1-point ball game. Carson-Newman on top. Bush will feed the inbound. Into the backcourt, and Carson-Newman will set up its offense. Let's see what Chuck Benson draws up here, as both schools have used their use it or lose it timeout in the first half. Rankin on him defensively right near midcourt. Shot clock hits 12. Still not really looking to get things going here. 9 and now 8 on the shot clock, and now Davis looks up and says, I got to go. 5, 3. He settles for a three-pointer, and it is an air ball, and absolutely not the shot that I'm sure Chuck Benson had in mind. And with 3.8 seconds to go, Dolling and Sells will come back into the game. 3-point potency for LMU. So Walters and Brown check out. So let's see if Lincoln Memorial can have some late clock theatrics here. Inbound promptly to Dolling. 3 and 2 as he crosses the timeline. Gets to the left wing. Ball fakes. Gets a good look at it. And it pulls out at the buzzer. A really good look at the horn for Dolling, who got to the left wing and missed the shot. And that is how the first half comes to a close. And Carson-Newman takes a 1-point lead into the locker room here inside of Timmons Arena. And we're going to hear from LMU's head man right now. Is heading over there is Christian Stryker to have a chat here in just a moment about this first half. Ebbs and flows, 3 ties, 3 lead changes. And ready to roll with our interview right now is Christian Stryker as we send it over to him.
We're here with the coach of Lincoln Memorial. Coach, just tell me a little bit about that first half and what's going on.
Very sloppy start. We were turning the ball over, taking crazy shots. So we've got to pick it up on offense and take better shots and take care of the basketball. And then defensively, they're making some tough shots. They're killing us on the glass. We're giving up too many offensive rebounds. And if we can match their physicality, I think we'll have a chance in the second half.
Appreciate it, Coach. Have a good half.
Appreciate it.
That's Christian Stryker with LMU's head coach Jeremiah Zamora-Pappas after Carson-Newman leads by 1 point, 35-34 at the break here at halftime. We'll have highlights and stats coming up for you here in just a moment. Eagles on top, trying to sting the upset of the top seed here in the SAC semifinals on the SAC Digital Network.
Every student comes to Wingate with a story. I know I did. Our students come from all walks of life.
They come to us as young people with hopes and dreams of their own. They're looking to Wingate to become the best version of themselves, and that's what we do.
The effect that Wingate has on me is compounded by the effect I have on the world after I leave Wingate.
Because making a difference is fundamental
to what we are as a university
and who we are as people.
Back here inside of Timmons Arena, where Carson-Newman, the upstart club, leads it by 1 at halftime, 35-34 here at the break. And Carson-Newman by 1 at the break. And Carson-Newman is ahead by a point here right now in this game as we take a look at the first half highlights from this contest. And both teams struggled a little bit early offensively, but once they found their rhythm, things started really rolling nicely offensively for both teams. Jordan Guest started to take over on the blocks for Lincoln Memorial as Alex Dowling hit a long-distance dedication. This is one of the best three-point shooting teams in the country here today, but they've made just 2 of 13 from long range. Great work by Mikael Burries in this contest as he was able to get loose on the blocks and drip one in. And Walters with a bucket driving to the cup with a dunk. A lot of Lincoln Memorial moments, but Carson-Newman actually led for nearly the entire first half of this basketball game. As you see E.J. Bush, this was really his forte in the first 20 minutes. He was making some really difficult shots and making it look pretty good as he was able to stick that one in over Guest. Trip Davis had a very nice first half of play, but right here, wide open look, able to drop it in. 12 points, a game high for the second team all-conference selection, Trip Davis. Nick Brennigan had a solid effort, but his brother, Luke Brennigan, connected on that trifecta. And Carson-Newman was able to shoot 45% in the first half of play. He got some good looks, and here's John Zhao with a nice slaloming move into the lane to be able to connect on the right-hand finger roll layup, and that made it. Carson-Newman on top, and right now, after the opening 20 minutes, it's a one-point game, and we're back with the first half stats with Carson-Newman ahead 35-34 on top-seeded Lincoln Memorial here on the SAC Digital Network.
Champions know how to seize opportunities. When they see moments of greatness unfold right before their eyes, they push as hard as they possibly can, and then they push harder. Because the heart of a champion never settles, never quits, and never stops giving its all. We are champions. We are Division II. We go big, we give it everything we've got, and we win. On the field, on our campuses, in our communities, for our causes, in our careers. We rise to become champions in everything we do. We are Division II, and there are no limits here. We make our time count. We set our own path. We become champions on our terms. It's time to up your game, because we're here to play and learn. But most importantly, we're here to discover ourselves, our vision, our heart, our drive, to achieve every goal we aim for, because we want to be champions at the highest level, life. At Division II, the opportunities are here. Are you ready?
There's light at the end of the tunnel.
A return to normal, and all we love about sports.
You've instilled resilience, focus, and selflessness in us. We've put those lessons to work.
We've found strength and unity in each other.
You continue to take us places we never imagined.
You bring out the best in us.
So when we look forward, we see the light at the end of the tunnel.
We see a better world for all of us and for college sports.
Number 32, Kyle Hornsby. Inside the 30. Touchdown. Michaela Burgess.
An incredible finish by Hall. The NCAA and its member schools offer nearly 500,000 college athletes a path to go pro in something other than sports. Learn more at ncaa.org/opportunity.
Back here inside of Timmons Arena, and a Carson-Newman lead, 35-34 at the break. The things that stick out on the stat sheet, Lincoln Memorial, one of the most efficient shooting teams in the country, 40% shooting. One of the best defensive field goal percentage teams in the country, 12th in the country. 45% for Carson-Newman. And LMU, who averages 12 made three-pointers per game this year, has only made 2 so far in this basketball game. LMU is getting the job done in the paint, though, with 18 points, and they made 8 of 11 at the free throw line, and that's why they've been able to get some good offense rolling. Well, 20 more minutes is going to tell the tale, and the first ticket of 2 will be punched to a conference tournament championship game. Which of these 2 clubs get there? We'll have the second half action and comments from Carson-Newman coach Chuck Benson when we come back. Eagles on top by 1, looking to snap a 5-game skid to the Splitters, down ahead 35-34 at the break. Back with more here in the SAC semifinal from Furman in a moment.
in life, things aren't scripted.
If you're an athlete, we need people like you and translate those skills to officiating.
You can get a lot out of it.
It happens in every town, in every game.
We never have a perfect game, but the rewards always outweigh the negativities.
Back here in Timmons Arena, Carson-Newman by 1 at halftime, and Christian Stryker standing by with a impatient Chuck Benson right now.
Coach Benson, tell us about the first half and what you talked to the team in the locker room about.
We got to continue to defend like we defended the first half. I thought we were able to get stops, got into transition on the offensive end, found some scores there against a really good defensive team in LMU. It's going to come down to who can make shots second half. We got to try to impact their shot making. They're going to try to impact ours, but it's going to come right down to that last media timeout and under, I think.
Coach, good luck. Go get them.
Thank you so much, Christian, here down there talking with Chuck Benson as Carson-Newman leads. So Carson-Newman leading by 1 here at halftime. Very interested to see how this second half plays out between these clubs. Lincoln Memorial probably going into the locker room thinking that they missed some prime opportunities to make some shots. They missed 11 of 13 from deep. Carson-Newman, conversely, thinking perhaps they haven't gotten some of their best players rolling. Ren Dyer far, and despite the fact that E.J. Bush has 6, he really hasn't had a lot of touches in the game. He's had to maximize his opportunities, and Luke Brennigan, who averages a dozen, has just 3 points and 1 shot attempt so far in the basketball game. So in a 1-point affair here with 20 more minutes on the clock, the first of 2 tickets to a tournament championship game on the line. This is game 3 of 4 tonight. We have the women's final set up. 4th-seeded Anderson, 2nd-seeded Carson-Newman for the title tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Who are the 2 men's teams that we see for a championship this afternoon? Lincoln Memorial the ball to start half number 2. Dowling has it top of the key, flicking it right back to Rankin, and quickly a reach-in foul on Carson-Newman. They call it on Dyer, and that was a really quick whistle here to start half number 2 in this ball game. And LMU trying to get its lead right back. We've had 3 ties and 3 lead changes. So Dowling will inbound the basketball to Rankin. And here comes the setup for LMU. Rankin looking to his right-hand side, dribbles, and then throws it right behind his teammate Burries, and it's out of bounds and a turnover for the Splitters. Probably not the way that you want to start it off if you're LMU, as that's the 4th turnover of the day. Brennigan for Carson-Newman feeds a cutting Bush. Bush will back it back out. Guess great body work there, but Bush able to get a little bit of separation, misses the jump shot. 30 seconds into half number 2. No score so far. Teams failed to score over the first 2 minutes of the first half as they felt each other out. Guess left side of the lane, backs down, flicks it out to Rankin. Now over to Guess, right wing, 3-pointer on the way, and that is wide right. Another missed 3, 2 of 14 from long range in this game. Brennigan in the front court, over to Dyer left wing, dumps it to the left block. Thomas back to the bucket, spins around the lane, puts a tough shot over Guess, outstretched left hand, and flicks it in. Carson-Newman back ahead by 3, 37-34. We played 70 seconds. Here in the second half, Eagles on top. Dowling dribbling right, works around the defender against man-to-man defense, spins in the lane, takes some contact, and puts the shot up, and it's too strong as a foul is whistled on Carson-Newman. This goes on Thomas. That is Thomas's 2nd personal foul. 3-point Carson-Newman lead. It has been nip and tuck. 5 points the largest lead for Carson-Newman, 3 the largest for Lincoln Memorial. So Dowling at the free throw line in a three-point affair, and he misses the first foul shot. 80% free throw shooter, and the fourth miss of the day. For LMU at the stripe. One more here for Dowling. And he drops that one in to make it a two-point affair. 37-35, 18 and a half minutes to play in this ball game here in the SAC semifinals. Brannigan working around a screen, once again feeding Bush. Guest checks over to him as they switch defensively. Bush again having a double clutch, misses the shot. Walters the rebound. LMU a chance to tie or take the lead on this journey. Rankin at the top of the key feeds a cutting Walters, who gets into the body of Thomas with 2 fouls, had to back away. Walters sticks it in. We're tied at 37 with 18:07 to play. Davis is fouled by Guest, who picks up his second personal foul. Lincoln Memorial with a 9th regular season title in the last 11 years. Take another look at this Walters play. Good job working through the defense and just so patient with that right hand to be able to stuff it in. Two minutes into this second half, a pause here for Guest to gather himself. Got hit in the midsection. And in a 37-37 game, Carson-Newman basketball near left sideline. Dyer gives it out to Bush. And Bush dribbling around to his right-hand side. Works to the right corner. 12 to shoot as Brannigan grabs, pulls the trigger on a three, and that's an air ball. Thomas is able to save it in bounds, but it starts a break. Rankin is open. Great catch underneath. Feeds a cutting Walters, who puts it over the top of Brannigan. LMU's back on top. Walters back-to-back buckets. 2.5 into the second half, and it's a 2-point game. Davis thought about a three, gets Dowling in the air. One dribble, gets into the lane, and a left-hand teardrop is through for Trip Davis. 14 now for Davis. That is his season average here today. High-level shot making both ways. Both teams going underneath as Guest has it ripped away. Davis has to slide through his legs perfectly to Bush, and then it's deflected out of play by Rankin. Well, both teams have made shots. Turnovers at times have been a problem. As you take a look at this sequence here, that's a really good pass from Burries ahead to Rankin. Really tough catch, and then so patient to find Walters for the layup. We're tied at 39, 3 minutes into half two of our first semifinal in the SAC Men's Basketball Championships. Brannigan backing down and drawing the foul. Rankin commits his first personal foul. 16:56 to go. This has been such a hotly contested contest. And these teams, Carson-Newman looking for a 20th win of the season here today. LMU on the other side with 25 more wins as they've set the standard in this league right there alongside Queens. First free throw in as you take another look at Rankin's foul. Second shot is in. And it makes it a 2-point Carson-Newman edge. The 5 seed looking to return to a title game. The reigning conference tournament title holders. Dowling, good ball fake, sets his feet for a three, and a rare miss on a good look for Dowling. Brannigan into the front court for Carson-Newman. High post, Thomas dribbles left against Walters, spins around, forces it over the top of Walters, and it's a 4-point Carson-Newman lead. 43-39, 16:20 to go. Well, it feels like one of these teams have a surge in them at some point. Walters inside of the three-point arc, flicks it underneath, deflected by Dyer twice, and it goes out of bounds with 16:08 to go in the contest. Carson-Newman has scored 6 unanswered after LMU had gone on top, and the Eagles ahead by 4. Their largest lead has been 5. They've had that 3 separate times. Baseline inbound, lobbed out to the top of the key, intercepted by Davis. He breaks away from Burries and puts it in. 8 unanswered, and it's the largest lead of the day for Carson-Newman. 45-39 with 16:01 to go. They call a warning on Carson-Newman. They grabbed the ball after it went through the cylinder. Well, Dowling just threw it out, and Davis, who's one of the best pilfer artists in the country, 6th in the nation. That's steal number 71 for one of the top thieves in the nation. 6-point Carson-Newman lead, largest of the day for either side. And a kick ball brings us to a break in the action. Carson-Newman scored 8 unanswered. Does Lincoln Memorial have an answer here in the conference semifinals? 6-point Eagle lead. Stick with us here on the SAC Digital Network.
Not everybody's going to pick Catawba, but Catawba can be a place for anybody. You can find a sense of belonging. You can find your people here, and it can be whatever you make it.
If you want to transform into the person you have the potential to be,
if you aspire to inspire the world around you and others,
if you want to discover a sense of belonging and make it what you want, there's a place for you here.
Catawba College is waiting. Are you ready?
Excellence, integrity, care, curiosity. These are the values that define who we are. A community of thinkers, competitors, and achievers passionately pursuing the path of a purpose-driven life. Because at Lenoir-Rhyne University, we are called to greatness. We are LR.
.52 to go in the ball game. Carson-Newman has scored 8 straight points over the last 96 seconds. And the Eagles are shooting 4 of 7 out of the gates here in half number 2. To take this advantage, it sits at 6 points. And let's see if the Eagles are able to make something happen to pull off the upset. But Lincoln Memorial, they've only made 2 of 15 from 3. They're the second best 3-point shooting team in the country. And you firmly expect that's going to change soon. Dowling, right wing, bounces it out top Burries, lobs to Guest at the high post. Dribbles once, spins around, loses the ball, saves it. Dowling, open look, 3, doesn't get the roll. LMU has missed 14 of 16 from 3, and they average 12 made a game. Bowens into the lane, 10 unanswered for the Eagles, and an 8-point lead, 47-39. Splitters have won 7 consecutive semifinal matchups, and Carson-Newman, who won the tournament title last year, is ahead by 8. Rankin misses a 3. Eagles with a chance to pad their advantage. 5 minutes into half number 2. Brennigan nearly had it stripped out of his hands, now does, and it leads to a break. Rankin the layup, it'll be a goaltend. It went in anyway, but that ends a 10-0 Carson-Newman run, as they had led by 8 points prior to that. Well, the turnover for Carson-Newman just very costly. LMU hadn't seen the basketball go in the cup in a while, and Rankin able to get the layup as Dyer got a piece of it after it hit the backboard. 47-41, 5 minutes into the second half, and Dyer has it on the right wing. Dribbling left, throwing it to the high post and butts. Brennigan around a screen. Stopping along the right side of the lane as he now backs down. Dowling feeds Bowens, who flicks it right inside. Butts is fouled, and he goes to the line. He's just a 65% foul shooter, but he's going to the free throw line as Brown is called for his first personal foul. Lincoln Memorial had been so good here of late. They've won 11 in a row. They haven't lost a game since January 22nd. And Butts, a 65% foul shooter, misses the first foul shot. Carson-Newman 8 of 11 now in the game. Take another look at that whistle as Butts drew the foul on Brown. One more coming up here for the left-hander. Misses another one, so not a bad foul at the end of it all. Carson-Newman by 6. LMU trying to put another dent into it this time around after the leak out on the layup last possession. Dowling to the lane. Heaves it all the way out to Burries. Rankin sprints to the paint, kicks it out, sells a 3. Another miss, but an offensive rebound, stick back by Brown. 4 straight, and that is second chance points number 2 and 3 for LMU. They've been few and far between for both sides. 4-point game. 6 minutes into the second half. Bowen's left baseline. Backing down Dowling, spinning around, shimmying through, missing a shot. Rebound poked out, and it's picked up by Rankin, sprinting the length of the floor, and a foul is whistled on Carson-Newman as Rankin got in the air looking to make the pass. They call it on Trip Davis, who picks up his second personal foul. 47-43. Carson-Newman ahead by 4. They used an 8-0 or 10-0 run to build up an 8-point lead, but that's been trimmed in half. Dowling around a screen as bodies collide. Dowling again around another screen. Now gets into the paint. Somehow got it off before he came back to earth. Misses it. Davis to the front court, loses the ball, and now a kicked ball will be whistled on Davis with 13:26 to go. A second turnover here in the last few moments for Carson-Newman. Eagles haven't scored in 2 minutes. LMU's been able to score 4 straight, but the Splitters' offense has really been on a grind right now. Carson-Newman's field goal percentage defense this year, second best to LMU, 27th in the country. And a foul violation here whistled on Brennigan, who picks up his third. Team's fourth. Last Carson-Newman points came at the 15:27 mark. So let's see when they are able to get back in the scoring column. Doors open here for the top seed. Splitters have won 5 conference titles since 2011. In the tournament at least. 9 of the last 11 regular season champs. Brown down the left side of the paint. Leaves a layup short. Dyer there for his 12th rebound of the day. Red Dyer to the front court. Will back it out for Davis. Carson-Newman will run it set here. 7 minutes gone by in the second. Carson-Newman by 4. Brennigan to reset as he works along the right wing. Gives it back out top for Bowens. Sprinting to his left-hand side. Loses the ball. Kicks it out. Davis, left corner. 3, too short. Offensive rebound, Butts, right-hander. Can't stick it back. Bowens misses the stick back. And then a rebound is thrown away. Davis comes away with it. Davis getting into the paint. He misses a bunny. Offensive rebound, Bowens, and he gets met by Brown, and a foul is finally whistled. Boy, Carson-Newman had so many chances underneath the bucket that time around, and they'll have a chance to end a 3-minute scoring drought right now with Bowens at the line, who shoots it at just 49%. Eagles had missed 5 straight shots before the foul was whistled. So let's see if Bowens can make one of these. He does, and that ends the scoring drought. It lasted 3 minutes and 2 seconds. 48-43. Carson-Newman playing for its NCAA tournament lives right now. Probably the only way that they get in is by winning the whole tournament. And they would certainly earn it at that point. Eagles on top by 5. They have led for nearly 20 of the 27-plus minutes we've played in this game. We've been tied for 5, so LMU's only had a lead for less than 4 minutes today. And the top-seeded Splitters, having won every game dating back to January 22nd. Down 6. Dowling around a screen. Down the left side of the paint. Leans in. Sticks in the left-hand layup. Carson-Newman's missed its last 5 field goals. LMU starting to heat up. Back within 4. Brennigan around a screen. Inside of the lane. Thomas. Backing down here with Guest. Shuffling his feet. Thomas feeds Brennigan. 12 to shoot as Brennigan misses the shot, but draws a foul to bring us to a pause in play. The whistle goes on Dowling. It is his 3rd. Storylines developing here. Carson-Newman can get its largest lead of the day when we come back. It sits at 8 right now. Or it sits at 4 rather right now at 49-45 with 11:47 to go in the game. Can Carson-Newman continue to hold off LMU, or do the Splitters have a patented run? We find out next on the SAC Digital Network.
7 years ago, our fathers brought forth...
It was Mr. Hines who made me want to become a teacher.
And then I said, that's one small step for man, one giant leap. And that's why we don't try this at home. Any questions?
He inspired me. But it was LMU that helped me turn that dream into a reality.
7 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent.
Carson-Newman has had a lot of answers here today. The Eagles are shooting 43%, and Lincoln Memorial, who averages 12 three-pointers per game and 89 points per game, has 2 three-pointers and 45 points. And Luke Brennigan misses the first foul shot, an 85% foul shooter. Misses the first, and the Eagles have left 5 free throws at the line in this game. 2 85+% foul shooters have missed free throws. And Brennigan misses another. And it's a 4-point game with 11:45 to go. Well, LMU has hung around, and for a team ranked 7th in the country right now, a chance to get back in this one. Burries was hot early. He misses this fall-away teardrop. Bush collects the board. Burries had 9 early. He has not scored since the opening 10 minutes. Dyer, a left wing 3, airmails it, and then commits the foul as he adds insult to injury, and he picks up his 3rd personal foul. With 11:22 to go in the game, Carson-Newman just hasn't been able to really fire that big blow. They had that 10-0 run that built out an 8-point lead, but then they went 3 minutes without scoring. And for an Eagle club that has won 4 conference tournament titles, trying to become the first team since Wingate in 2012-2013 to win back-to-back tournament championships. The last 7 have failed. Eagles trying to make sure that that's not 8, but LMU, always tough. They've won 5 of those titles in the last 10 years as a foul is whistled, as Sales is making a move to the bucket. It is on Brennigan, Nick Brennigan, his 2nd, team 6th, though LMU will be in the bonus once we restart play here, as that was Carson-Newman's last foul to give. Splitters have committed 5 fouls. Inbound goes all the way into the backcourt. Matthew Sells will walk it across the timeline. Walters grabs it. 9 minutes into the second half. Carson-Newman continues to hold this lead. It was 1 at halftime. Dowling getting into the lane. Affected by Thomas. Dowling missed the shot, and they call a foul on Carson-Newman. That is, honestly, kind of shocking that they called that foul. Let's take another look at it. Dowling got the blow-by of Thomas. Let's see if there's any kind of contact here. Dowling went up. Maybe a right hand to a left forearm, but really did not look like there was much there in a game that has been highly physical. First free throw from Dowling is in, 3-point game, and the second one goes through as well. 2-point game. 10:55 to go. 49-47. Carson-Newman by 2. 10:55 left here in the SAC semifinals. Bush, top of the key, swings at right wing. Brennigan works around a defender as he gets a screen, gets into the lane, feeds Dyer left corner. Ball fakes, gets to the left baseline, pulls up, and a high arcing right hand shot over Walters goes in. Well, this has been the case for much of this game. Every time that LMU gets within 1, 2, takes the lead, Carson-Newman finds an answer. Dowling sprinting into the paint to the right block, has his shot altered, and he misses it. Bykov the rebound. First action for the Russian native. Eagles ahead by 4 with a rock. 10:17 to go in the game. Nick Brennigan getting to the right block. He knocks over Sells and puts in the right-hand layup, and it's back to a 6-point Carson-Newman lead. They had missed 5 of the last 6 prior to back-to-back makes. Burries has it. Dribbling right, crossing over, spinning around in the lane. Bykov's there with a high hand. Walters comes up with it, and then a foul is whistled underneath, and they call it on Dima Bykov. Team's 8th foul. So Walters will go to the line. take a look here. I mean, Walters amongst 3 defenders. One of the 3 was going to foul him. Just pick your poison on which number it was going to be. It's great to have you with us today. Our great crew is working extra hours in this quadruple header, doing a fantastic amount of work here, with Carson-Newman leading it by 5. The Eagles are winning the battle on the glass as well, and Bush collects another rebound, his 6th. Second free throw falls out. LMU has left 5 free throws at the line. Carson-Newman's left 6 of them, and that was a major issue in the women's games earlier. Brennigan, right side of the lane, spins around, hands it off. Bush, free throw line, jump shot is pure connection. E.J. Bush with 8. He's 3 away from 1,000 for his career. 55-48, 9.5 to go. I think everybody in this gym is just waiting for LMU to explode. They average 89 a game. Burry's left baseline, dribbling beyond the arc. Between the legs dribble, stepping back for the jump shot. Left it short, rebound juggled. Ren Dyer, 13 rebounds for Ren Dyer here in this game. And that is a new career high. He had 12 last year at Wingate. Bush down the left side of the paint. Right hand running teardrop, leaving it short. And with 8:55 to go in the game, Carson-Newman will get a couple free throws. That's on Walters, his first. See the body contact and then a little bit of the right hand. Team's 6th foul. And E.J. Bush at the line. If he makes both, it'd be the largest lead of the day for the Eagles. Bush's first foul shot with the right hand is too strong, so all he can do is match it. Carson-Newman off of a 10-0 run 4 minutes into the second half, built out a 47-39 8-point lead. It sits at 7 now, and one more coming up here for E.J. Bush. Second one up from Bush, and that rattles out. Carson-Newman is 4 for 10 at the free throw line in the second half. And in a 7-point game with 8:50 to play, Rankin lobs it up into the air. Guest actually ends up coming down with it. They had the alley-oop dunk, but it eventually finds Guest, and Guest is able to put it in. 55-50, 8:36 to play in the game. Carson-Newman by 5. Missed free throws playing a key role. Newberry and Queens await in the nightcap tonight. Sloppy pass, Rankin a steal, getting to the block, drawing a foul, and going to the line. Bush called for his second. Well, Lincoln Memorial is having one of their worst shooting performances of the year. But some turnovers by Carson-Newman have led to points, as the Splitters have 11 points off of Carson-Newman's 9 giveaways. Rankin back to the line. He's got 8 on the day. Half have come at the charity stripe. First team all-conference pick who leads the country with triple doubles this year. Makes the first foul shot with a friendly roll. 4-point game. Dyer and Nick Brennigan get breaks. Davis and John Jow back onto the floor. Rankin trying to convert here on another foul shot. And that spins out. These rims are tight here. Very tough to shoot inside of this facility. 55-51, 8:17 to go. Carson-Newman by 4. They have led for almost 23 of the 32 minutes of this game. Brennigan, left baseline, bounces it underneath. Bush feeds Davis, right wing. Shot clock hits 10 as we hit 8 minutes to go in the SAC semis. To the lane, Davis with a running, looping left-hand shot. He has 18 now, and that stretches the lead back to 6. 57-51, 7 3/4 minutes to go. Rankin handing it off to Dowling. Dumps it underneath for Guest. Guest barreling against Butts, and a foul is going to be whistled on Josh Butts that will send Guest to the line for 2 foul shots when we return. We're getting into the twilight of this one. Carson-Newman has led for almost the entirety of the game and is by as many as 8. It's 6 now. Is this the time where LMU has its run? We find out next on the SAC Digital Network.
You've got to see this place.
You got to see this place.
You've got to see this place.
You 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 gotta see this place.
You've got to see this place.
You got to see this place.
You got to see this place.
You gotta see this place.
.737 to play here inside of Furman's Timmons Arena. The first of our men's semifinals here this evening. It's great to have you with us, Michael Watrang, and our great crew here bringing you all of the action from this fine facility. And Jordan Guest at the free throw line looking to put a dent into this. Guest has a dozen, and he rattles in the first free throw. He's the only splitter in double figures for a team this year that has 5 players averaging in double figures. Second free throw is in. It's a 4-point game. 57-53. Carson-Newman's lead has reached as many as 8 here in the second half. We've had 5 ties, 5 lead changes overall. Bowen's getting a running start, evading a defender, missing the layup. Rebound poked out, and it's picked up by LMU. Dowling to the front court. Working along the right-hand side of the perimeter. Rankin getting a sprinting start. Left-hand shot. Offensive foul. John Zhao steps in. And all of LMU is upset with a call. It's the second on Rankin. We're getting another look at it right now. John Zhao came out, and I don't know about that one because Rankin had started to take flight and Zhao was not set. That probably should have been a blocking foul. But they call the charge, and Carson-Newman gets a break. Can the Eagles capitalize? Or does that ignite a fire underneath this LMU side? Zhao kicks it back out. Butts feeds Brennigan. 10 to shoot as he works around a screen. Gets to the left side of the lane, leans in, draws the foul, and gets to the free throw line. So Brennigan to the line. He had missed 2 there, and Rankin has now picked up his 3rd with 6:50 to go in the game. Brennigan got Rankin in the air and just did a great job of leaning into it. And Rankin picks up 2 fouls in the last 25 seconds. Brennigan sinks the first foul shot as he now has 6 in the game, averaging a dozen nightly. 6:50 to play. Brennigan's second toss is through. Once again, a 6-point game. LMU has made 2 of 19 from 3-point range. They have made at least a dozen on average this season. Foul is whistled underneath the bucket. It's going to go on Butts. That is his second. Carson-Newman is well over the limit. Double bonus time for LMU the rest of the way with 6:46 to play. LMU this season, such a dynamic 3-point shooting team. They're 9th in the country, connecting on 40% of their attempts from distance. They make the 2nd most in the nation, but they've only hit 2 here as Guest makes the first foul shot. He'll get another crack at it, and this is a little bit different because the Splitters were 7th in the conference in free throw attempts on the year. 59-54. Guest second foul shot, too strong. Bowen's the rebound. Carson-Newman's lead is 5. LMU has trailed for almost the entirety of the ball game. Their lead has been as many as just 3 for 4 total minutes of this game. 6.5 to play. Brennigan. Out to Davis. He pulls the trigger on a 3. That's way too strong. And a foul is whistled. And it is on Carson-Newman. It's on Butts, and that is his 3rd. Free throws coming up. I think it's Brown shooting them. And Brown's just a 47% foul shooter. Take another look at the rebound opportunity here. Yeah, it looks like maybe Butts got a little bit of the forearms into the backside of the 6'8", 200-pound junior. And now let's see if Brown can make these. A 2 foul shot attempt, and that one was silky smooth on the first go-around. It's down to a 4-point game, and Brown can make it a 1-possession ball game with this foul shot. Second one on the way. That one rains in. And it is a 3-point game, 59-56. To the front court come the Eagles of Carson-Newman. Thomas spinning around. Right-hand shot, force-fed, leaving it short and deflected out of play off of LMU. Carson-Newman ball on the baseline, 6:06 to play. Dyer feeds Thomas, and Carson-Newman, with 20 seconds on the shot clock, can work this thing. Bowens inside of the paint, puts a shot up, tough, hits the backboard, and they call a foul on LMU. It's on Guest. It is his third. Team's ninth. Let's take another look at that one. We have to. These calls starting to add up here. Here's Bowens, back to the bucket, puts the shot up, Guest, he got him on the right arm. And Bowens misses the first foul shot. Carson-Newman has missed 7 of its 13 attempts here in the second half. And if the Eagles don't win this game, free throws are going to be the reason why. Bowens' second free throw. That one goes through the can, and it's a 4-point game, 60-56 with 5:52 to play in the game. Rankin handing it off to Dowling. Dowling getting into the lane, a little right-hand runner. It's an air ball. Brown saves it in off of the face of Davis, out of bounds. 5:41 to go. Here's some perspective on Lincoln Memorial. They've made just 2 3-pointers. Their season low was 3. That was on February 2nd. They won that game 80-75 against Anderson. They've made at least 21 times this year, and 8 or more in 26 of 29. But they've only attempted 6 in the second half, as Brown is called for the illegal screen. No free throws for Carson-Newman with a player control foul. And in a 4-point game and 5:34 to go. Costly error there by Brown. 60-56. Which team punches a ticket to the conference tournament championship game? Carson-Newman's the reigning conference tournament title holders. LMU has won 9 of the last 11 regular season championships and 5 of the last 10 tournament titles. Dyer left wing, dribbling right, handing it off to Brennigan. Brennigan to his right-hand side, spins back left. Brennigan tosses it underneath, deflected, Bush rescues. 8 on the shot clock. Feeds Bush, 6 and 5, spinning into the paint, taking some contact, putting it up, putting it in! And 1 for E.J. Bush. Circus act right there by Bush. And it's a 6-point game again. The foul on Brown, it's his 4th. And a chance for Bush to join the 1,000-point club with this foul shot. He would be the 40th in Carson-Newman's history. Free throw up from E.J. It is in. There's point number 1,000 for E.J. Bush. He's the 40th Eagle ever to do that. And it's back to a 7-point lead with 5 minutes to play in the semifinals. The Eagles looking to upset the number 1 seed. Working around some defenders and giving it over to Dowling. Now we get a whistle and an offensive foul on Guest with 4:51 to go. It's his 4th. So Guest picks up a 4th, and he's going to have to come off the floor. Sells will come in. Well, typically being a 1 seed has been friendly in this conference, but in 3 of the last 5 years, the 1 has not won the tournament. Carson-Newman looking to keep that going. They get their largest lead of the day on this trip. Brannigan into the paint. Bounces underneath. Backdoor. Dyer the layup. Carson-Newman leads by a game-high 9. 65-56 with 4.5 to play. LMU trying to find an answer right now. Where does it come from? Sells to the paint. Handing it off. Burries out to Dowling. He steps out of bounds on the far left sideline. Carson-Newman leading by 9. The Eagles have scored 6 unanswered points after LMU had pulled within 3. And a 9-point Carson-Newman lead. Bush working to his right, the newly minted 1,000-point scorer. Puts one up over a defender, puts it in. It's an 8-0 Carson-Newman run, and they've hit a double-digit lead for the first time today. 67-56, 3:54 to go. Rankin to Dowling. Out top, it's Walters feeding Dowling. They are looking for a 3 right now, but Carson-Newman swarming. Burries dribbling left baseline. 10 on the shot clock. LMU not getting a lot of good looks here. Burries stepping back, left corner, 3, leaving it short. LMU's missed 7 straight from long range. And the Splitters are on a scoring drought that has lasted nearly 3 minutes. 8-0 Carson-Newman scoring run. Last points for LMU at the 6:18 mark. Bush with a basketball left wing. Dribbling to the baseline, putting a right-hand shot up, left it short. Deflects around, Walters the rebound. Can LMU snap a 3+ minute scoring drought on this trip? Rankin on the left wing, the first team all-conference pick. Circulates around the perimeter, gets to the lane, right-hand floater is through, and that snaps that scoring drought. It ends up lasting 2 minutes and 20 seconds, and it's a media timeout as well. 2:56 to go in the game. 9-point Carson-Newman lead. Lincoln Memorial needing a burst. 2:56 away from a title game appearance. Carson-Newman will try to hold them off here on the SAC Digital Network.
Hometown ticketing makes it fast and easy to buy tickets on your school's website or in the new Hometown Fan app. It's simple. Just search for your school, buy your tickets, and they'll be right there in your account, ready to be scanned when you get to your event. Download the Hometown Fan app today.
As soon as you win the state championship, you start getting calls and emails and brochures sent to you from all these ring companies. We'd already talked for a long time. The first one we got here at BA, it was going to be the biggest thing we could find. Right? It was going to be the biggest ring we could get. You know, we wanted to make this a celebration for the community, right? For our administration, for our school, right? And then to honor the kids. It's a big deal anytime you win a state championship in any sport.
.256 to go in the SAC semifinals. It's 5th-seeded Carson-Newman after winning on the road at Wingate to punch a ticket here to the semifinals, winning 65-49. The Eagles' defense once again suffocating with 2:56 to go in the game. Carson-Newman leading by 9. And let's see if Lincoln Memorial can ratchet up this pressure. You have to feel that the Splitters have to make a 3 to win this game. They've only made 2 and none in the second half. Bush in their front court, getting it right back from Thomas. Bush puts it in and 1. That's the 5th on Brown. And it brings us to our final stoppage in play. 11-point game again. Carson-Newman feeling it. The Lady Eagles have already punched their ticket. To the men's side, do it as well. 2:49 to play. Carson-Newman ahead by 11 here in the SAC semifinals.
I pledge.
I am an NCAA student athlete.
And I pledge to be a champion of unity
on my team, on my campus, and in my community.
I pledge to embrace differences and strive for inclusion and collaboration.
I pledge to stand against racism, hate, and discrimination.
I pledge to strive for love, care, and forgiveness.
I pledge to stand against silence, deceit, and obscurity.
I pledge to strive for dialogue, truth, and understanding.
I pledge to stand against fear and doubt.
I pledge to strive for trust and belief in one another.
I pledge to stand against complacency and stagnancy.
I pledge to strive for change and growth.
I commit to supporting my fellow student athletes in all circumstances that impact them.
I commit to both choosing unity personally and encouraging it for all.
I pledge these things because we are stronger together.
United as one.
No more stoppages in play, but this was the moment right here that Carson-Newman used right before the timeout. E.J. Bush off of the break, putting the shot in a solid second half for E.J. in this one, as he has 15 points in the game. 9 have come here in the second half. Free throw too strong, though, by Bush, and that's been a big issue for the Eagles. They've missed half of their 16 attempts here in half number 2. Guest, top of the key, gives it over to Rankin. He's wide open. You got to hit it, and they do. Just the third three-pointer of the day, the first of the second half for the second most prolific three-point shooting team in the nation. 69-61, 2:29 to go, and a foul is whistled on Burries, his first. Both teams are in the double bonus, and Trip Davis, who's an 87% foul shooter, will shoot a pair here. Davis, 18 points, game high so far, and looking for a 20-point scoring effort if he can sink a pair of foul shots now. First free throw up, and he sinks the first. This would be the 5th time this year that he's hit 20 points, and the 15th time in his career. Second free throw from Davis goes in. Carson-Newman's lead is double digits again. 71-61, 2.5 to play. Yes, right wing. Looks for Dowling. Instead swings it to the far corner. Sells, catches, shoots the three, and splashes it. 7-point game. 71-64, 2:16 to play. Well, LMU's hit back-to-back threes after they had missed all 7 of their first attempts here in the second half. Davis into the front court, and a foul is whistled, and it's on Carson-Newman. It's on Carson-Newman's Ren Dyer, and that is his 4th. It happened on the complete opposite side of the floor here near midcourt. The foul came on this near left sideline right at midcourt. And in a 7-point game, LMU has a shot right now. And let's see if they're going to say, is this a player control foul? Is this a loose ball foul? And will this be free throws? And indeed, they will say that it's a quote-unquote player control offensive foul, so no foul shots. 71-64, 2:05 to play. Top-seeded Lincoln Memorial, down 7. Carson-Newman trying to sting the upset. Rankin has it knocked out of his hands and is picked up by Carson-Newman. Davis into the front court. Dyer, that's the one that they want to foul. Now Brennigan gives it over to Davis. 1:48 and rolling, and Davis gets fouled with 19 on the shot clock. They went as long as they could before they want to try to extend this game. Carson-Newman has lost 5 straight to the Splitters, but a chance to upend that and be a 5 seed into the conference title game. 71-64. Carson-Newman has led pretty much the entire ball game. LMU took a 39-37 lead less than 3 minutes into the second half. Carson-Newman responded with 10 straight points, and they haven't trailed since. 8-point game. One more here for Davis. When you play these neutral site games, sometimes it's harder to shoot, and Davis making the second. It's a 9-point game. 73-64, 1:44 to go. Was that last sequence the big one? Guessed a three-pointer, too strong. Bush the rebound. 1:37 to go. They want to trap. Davis is still in the backcourt. Now works across the timeline. Feeds Dyer. That's who they want to foul, but Dyer knows to get it out of his hands. And now a foul is whistled, and it is against Dyer as Dowling commits his 4th. And Ren Dyer is headed to the free throw line. He's a 63% foul shooter on the year. Exactly who they wanted to foul. And in the final 5 minutes of ball games this year, Dyer 8 of 11 this season, 17 of 24 in his career. 9-point game. Dyer's foul shot on the way, and that swirls in. Back to a 10-point game and a chance to match their largest lead of the day. Carson-Newman swelling this one out to double figures. A late 8-0 run as Lincoln Memorial went 3.5 minutes without scoring. Dyer missed the second, but he's called for a lane violation. And with 1:27 to go, 74-64. Inbound is stolen away by Davis. Been that kind of day. The 10th second-half turnover for LMU after they had 3 in the first half. And Davis is fouled with 1:17 to play. Well, how about that? LMU 10 second-half turnovers in this basketball game. And Carson-Newman has been grateful for those opportunities as the Eagles have converted that into 13 points off of turnovers, which is in essence the difference in the game right now. Davis at the line, a chance for 2 more. He's made 9 of 10, make it 10 of 11. 75-64. One more coming up here for Trip Davis. Davis, 56 of 65 in his career in the final 5 minutes. And he misses the second. 11-point game, matching the largest deficit of the day for LMU. 1:12 to go. Dowling left wing. Back out top. Burry steps into a 3. Misses it as it rattles around. Loose ball. Sells picks it up. It's going to be a jump ball as both he and Bush got a piece of it. And it is a held ball. Carson-Newman possession. 75-64. 1:03 to play. Davis getting a running start into the front court, feeding Thomas. Alertly backs it out. They probably want to foul Thomas, and now they do. He's a good free throw shooter at 73%, but when you have 2 85+% shooters out there, it means that certainly want to try to avoid those two. And free throws coming up here for Thomas. The foul is the 5th on Guest. He has been DQ'd. And the top seed here, Lincoln Memorial. Last year, Queens is the top seed, lost to Carson-Newman in the title game. The year before that, LMU won the championship. Queens was the last 1 seed to not reach the final. That was back in 2019 when they were upended by 5th seeded Lenore Rhine by 15. Similar fate here today. Thomas splits the pair, Burries to the front court, feeds it to Walters, who puts in the layup. The clock kept rolling, and they're going to have to make an adjustment on that. Ten-point game, 50.8 to go. They add almost a full second. Davis is fouled again. And more free throws coming up for Tripp. 10 of 12 in the game. Davis's most free throw attempts come back into 2021. He went 18 of 19 in a win against Benedict when he put up 44. He's got 23 in this one. And he gets a chance for 2 more to make it the largest spread of this ball game. First free throw up and through. That's a season-high 24 for Tripp Davis. And Carson-Newman's lead is 11 with 49 seconds to play. Going to wipe off the basketball here after it got a little bit of moisture on it. Davis to get 1 more, looking for a 25-point day. Outside of his three-point shooting, he's been nearly flawless. He makes the second. 12-point game, 78-66 with 3/4 of a minute to play. Into the front court, it is Burries. He has it deflect out of his hands. 40 seconds left. Burries sprinting into the lane, getting a reverse layup attempt. He misses it, and that is Carson-Newman's rebound. LMU elects not to foul, and Carson-Newman is going to the title game. The women's team takes down the Catawba College Catawba Indians, and now the men's team against the top seed is knocking off the Splitters and a 5 seed. will have a chance to win a championship for the first time since 1994. 9 seconds to play. The Eagles will take the shot clock violation with 6 seconds on the clock. And Lincoln Memorial will lose for the first time since January 22nd. They'd rattle off 11 consecutive wins. And their winning streak is over. Dowling will heave one up at the buzzer. That doesn't fall, and a fitting way to end it. The second fewest made three-pointers this season by Lincoln Memorial, and it is Carson-Newman that wins it by a dozen. The final score here inside of Timmons Arena. It is Carson-Newman, the number 5 seed, winning at 78-66 here inside of this facility. Trip Davis with 25. And in a game in which you expected Lincoln Memorial to start to find some offense, they never did. And the Eagles are into the title game for a second straight year and will have a chance to defend their conference tournament crown. Final score in this ball game, 78-66. So it is the Eagles that win this one. There were some early jams from Lincoln Memorial. They had some early opportunities in this game, but Carson-Newman's offense was able to find their rhythm in the second half. After falling behind by 2, they scored 10 unanswered and pulled away late with an 8-0 run. And the Eagles able to surge past the Lincoln Memorial Rail Splitters, winning the ball game. The final score once again, 5th-seeded Carson-Newman 78, top-seeded Lincoln Memorial 66. Who will they face in the title game? Next game coming up. We'll start in just about 45 minutes. It'll be Queens and 6th-seeded Newberry, the 2 versus 6 matchup. Carson-Newman is into the title game tomorrow at 4:30. We'll talk to you in about 45 minutes as the Eagles take down the Splitters 78-66 here on the SAC Digital Network.